Hey, you're finally awake. We just crossed the border. I've heard strange things have been happening since I was away. Even so, it's good to be back home. Back in Skyrim. It's always something.
These two. Take them to the barrow.
Ooh, okay, there's the main quest. Rondo.
Friend, I need your help. There's no time. Take this. Keep it safe. Information. The Ice Reach Coven at work in the west. Just need more proof. Go! They're coming! Don't trust them. Only Lyris. She's...
You there! What did that fugitive tell you? Who are you? Another spy? What did this lying Easterner say to you? Assisting a fugitive is a crime in Hafingar Hold. Unless you want to find out how we deal with traitors and spies, tell me what he said to you. Lucky for you. If he had told you any seditious lies and you decided to keep them from us, you'd have been in real trouble. Don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong. Solitude doesn't take kindly to instigators or strangers. And mark my words, you'd rather not get on the wrong side of the High King's guard. Go on. Just remember, I'll be keeping an eye on you.
A scrap of paper with hurried writing scrawled in a shaky hand sits on top of the pile. Ronald, the guard came asking about you. They were rattling their scabbards at anyone they could find. I'm scared. I hid your horse in the woods. I'll wait in the barn by the stables outside the city. But only for one mere day. Declaration of custom, Port Richard Sentinel, Port Arrival Solitude, cargo upload. Okay. Saw crew members, criminal marking several crates in the dock. Okay. Stonewood dock, etc., etc. Where the living.
Stay back! I'll do it! I'll stab you! I mean it! One step closer, and I'll stick you like a hawker! I don't know any Brondold. That is what I told the guards, and that is what I'm telling you. I don't want any more trouble. You make me stab you, and it's my word against yours. Dead? Stone's mercy! And I'm next, aren't I? I promise. I don't know anything. I won't make any trouble. I'll disappear. Don't even like it here. You'll never see me again. He did not tell me a lot. Said he was tracking some bad people. Asked me to keep an eye out for any unusual comings and goings. He'd come by now and then with a sweet roll and a few coins for my trouble. He was nice. the last time we spoke, it was about the men with the job postings. A pair of wolves in sheep's clothing, trying to blend in, but still off around the edges. Same with their horses, sheared mountain mares. Come from the Reach, I wager. They'd be wise to. The only time Reachmen and Nords meet is to kill each other. I always heard they were raiders and barbarians. No interest in honest labor. Or writing, for that matter. Not the sort to post job notices. Who knows? Maybe they really do need laborers. Can't imagine Reachmen would hire Nords, so. It doesn't make a lot of sense. A wild land full of wild folk, located south and west of here. It's changed hands between Reachmen and the Nords more times than I can count. But they control the territory now. Seeing Reachmen wandering the streets of Solitude, it makes me nervous. You'd feel the same if you knew the tales of the fall of Markarth. What the Reachmen do to folks they capture. Better to slice your own throat than let those barbarians take you alive. If they raid our hold, just run and don't look back. Flyers. They were hanging them at the inn around the city. Something about a lucrative opportunity in the Druidek Mountains. I really did not pay them a lot of attention. I was more interested in the men distributing them. Take Brondle's horse and run before someone less friendly comes to find me. Bron was going to take me back east after he finished here. I want to live where strangers are welcomed with a smile instead of a scowl. I hear Windhelm is like that. We're stuck between the despot of Markarth and the Skald King of the East. Both sniff around like wolves, waiting for a moment of weakness to strike. Not a day goes by without a threat of war. It is exhausting living this way.
Well?
I'm accustomed to stairs, but I reached my threshold for gawkers a long time ago. Move along. I'm waiting for someone. He's what? Oh, damn it. Queen Gerhild will be here at any moment. Look, Her Highness is expecting to talk to me and my contact. I need you to pretend to be that contact, or this will go very badly. We can exchange intimate details of our lives later. Right now, just know that the safety of all of Skyrim, maybe even all of Tamriel, depends on how this meeting goes. So follow my lead and be on your best behavior with Her Highness.
Lyris Titanborn. Your reputation is known even here in the West. Is this one of your famed companions?
No, but I assure you my partner is one of the Skald King's best. Go introduce yourself, partner.
I am Gerhild, Queen of Skyrim. Allow me to welcome you on behalf of our kingdom, our city, and our hold. Who might you be? The letter that preceded your arrival said an attempt was made on the Skald King's life. It indicated that High King Svargrim would be next. My husband took that as an accusation and a threat. He will not meet with you, but I will hear you out. Have you anything that would persuade my husband? It will take some substantial evidence to convince High King Svargrim to heed the words of the hated Yoren, the Skald King. Reachman transgressions will not be enough for Svargrim to accept outside help. He's a prideful man, and the bad blood between him and Yoren runs deep. I will speak on your behalf, but you and Lyris will need to bring me proof he cannot ignore. Thank you for alerting me to this situation. I am eager to see what else you uncover. I will do what I can, but be as discreet as possible. If you run afoul of my husband, he won't hesitate to return you to Yoren, and not necessarily in one piece. My deepest apologies. Between the Reach to our south and the Ebonheart Pack to the east, our soldiers have come to see all outsiders as a potential threat. I will look into this. Vigilance cannot be allowed to become a bludgeon. Eastern and Western Skyrim have been at odds since the kingdom was divided. Yoren's ambitions for the Ruby Throne, however, have created a new level of tension. Forming alliances and raising armies for conquest. Should we not be wary of such a man? Frankly, yes. He believes Yoren hasn't marched here with an army as yet, because the Western holds are firmly united against Pact rule. My husband is certain Yoren plots to erode those allegiances. He will not easily earn the High King's trust. You must convince my husband that a threat greater than Yoren exists. Further, this threat must directly imperil the High King. Find proof of this, and I will assist you how I can. Helping to keep our hold safe will also allay his concerns. It's enough for me to believe your intentions are sincere. Learn more about these suspicious activities you mentioned, then bring it to me. If this threat is as dangerous as Yoren claims, prove it, and I will make my husband listen to reason.
You must be Mog. I have questions.
Questions? Happy to oblige. Buy a few rounds and let's chat.
You're going to answer me, Orc, or...
Hey! Nobody intimidates my friends.
Princess Svanna.
Who gave you the right to walk in here and bully my friend? Did my father send you? Because he doesn't like Mog. But I like Mog. Mog doesn't care that I'm a princess, and it doesn't matter to me that Mog's a scoundrel. If my father didn't send you, why are you threatening my friend? Smelly bastards. Cheap, too. Wouldn't buy us a drink. They hung their flyers and left without saying a word. Then, a different smelly bastard showed up to sign on workers. He was a charmer, though. His breeches fit well. And he was handsome. Not a Nord. Breton, maybe? I didn't really listen to what he was saying. A half-dozen workers left with him. Off to the Drudok Mountains or someplace. He hasn't been back since.
Let's talk outside, partner. So we've got a mysterious Breton possibly working with Reachmen, recruiting workers for some unknown purpose. Plus there's a smuggler hiding unknown contraband in a warehouse down by the docks. I say we deal with the smuggler first. We know where to find her, and we more or less know what she's up to. And if the two are connected, maybe the smuggler can help us narrow our search for the Breton. Ready to visit Casella's warehouse?
Stop! A disaster has befallen Kilcreath Temple. Don't be alarmed. I mean you no harm. But there are Harrow fiends swarming around Kilcreath Temple who do. Head back to safety before they find you. I'm sorry, but you're too late. An unnatural storm struck the temple, and now the entire area is overrun by vampires and Harrow fiends. Harrow fiends are feral vampires, a byproduct of the unnatural Harrow storm. As for me, I am Fenorian of House Ravenwatch. I came here on the trail of remains stolen from a mass grave in Bankurai. They were shipped to Solitude in ancient urns. Yes, I've run into the Coven as well. The urns and the stolen remains play a part in a ritual to summon the storms. If you're willing, I could use your assistance. I need to finish my investigation of the site to see what else I can learn. I could use your help to examine the strange pikes erected around the temple. Harrow fiends and vampires roam the area, making it difficult to get close. Hence the need for your assistance. You see, I'm not that confident in my combat prowess. The Icereach Coven performed a ritual that unleashed a Harrow storm on the temple. It struck without warning and evaporated as quickly as it began. But in its wake, it left behind Harrow fiends. Innocent priests and pilgrims transformed into monsters. That's what I heard the Icereach Coven call the storm that struck Kilcreath Temple. It's magical in nature, the result of some sort of ritual performed by the witches. I'm still investigating, but I think the Harrow fiends are a byproduct of the storm. House Ravenwatch is one of the noble houses of Rivenspire. Our liege, Count Verandus, has dedicated us to the cause of peaceful coexistence between mortals and those of the vampiric persuasion. That often makes us defenders of Tamriel. True, but I've seen evidence of a vampiric connection. At the very least, the material they transported from Bankurai included the remains of ancient vampires. They were part of an army that was defeated in the First Era, the Grey Host. An army that consisted of vampires and werewolves, led by King Styrik and Verkarth. They were eventually defeated by the garrison at Bankurai in High Rock. It all happened a very long time ago, but such remains radiate with arcane power. Is it that obvious? But have no fear. As a member of House Ravenwatch, I have pledged to never take blood from an unwilling subject. I assure you, I'm only here to help. I am much more than just a vampire. In addition to being an agent of House Ravenwatch, I am a master alchemist and an expert in arcane studies. I do try to avoid direct violence, though, to make sure I never give in to temptation.
That's close enough, Leech.
Wait! I'm not part of the Coven!
Looks like I made it back just in time. This place is crawling with vampires, and that one was about to make a meal out of you. House Ravenwatch. I've heard of them, but he's a long way from Rivenspire. Well, if you're willing to trust a vampire, I suppose I can too. I spotted a Coven witch. If we hurry, we might be able to catch her. On the cliff overlooking the temple, calls herself Sister Embrit. I was going to rush her, but I wanted to make sure you hadn't run afoul of any of these monsters first. No offense, Fen. Come on, if we're lucky, the witch is still up there.
Perhaps I could question the witch before you introduce her to your impressive axe blade? Prisoner. No matter. I found something. This way?
Go with your vampire friend. I'm gonna look around here.
Do you see? These are the same as the urns smuggled from Bankurai. They didn't just shatter. They exploded. I can sense traces of magicka clinging to the shards that matched the energy used in the storm ritual. All this rubble scattered around didn't just come from these urns. The texture and patterns are different. They appear to have used the funerary dust in the urns to summon the Harrow Storms. But I'm not sure what was inside the larger vessels. Look at the shape of the fragments. They come from a hollow receptacle of some sort. Something at least as tall as you. Perhaps larger. Just another piece of the puzzle. Maybe when I analyze the witchpike residue, an answer will suggest itself. Thank you, but no. I try to avoid large population centers. Be temptation. You understand. I'll find someplace nearby, but out of the way where I can set up my equipment and work undisturbed. I'll send word when I have something to report. I met a clever woman who lives in the bog near Morthal. Old Mjolnir's a dying breed among the Nords, a practitioner of the old magic. The locals both admire and fear her. If anyone can help me untangle the Coven's ritual, it's her. Mjolnir's experience with the old ways and reach magic make her ideally suited to assist me in this endeavor. She's the closest thing to an expert we're likely to find out here. At least one who doesn't want to feed our eyes to a harpy. Western Skyrim consists of 3 holds: Hothengar, Hjalmarch, and Carthald. Morthal is the capital of Hjalmarch. It's located southeast of Solitude, along the River Hjal. Old Mjolnir lives in the marshlands nearby. The Raven Watch has had to curtail rogue vampire clans, and put down feral blood fiends on occasion, but I've never dealt with anything like this before. People turning into harrow fiends, or becoming mindless harrowed. It's a nightmare. Yes, but more research is required to confirm anything. Still, from what we observed here, it appears the Harrow Storm produced 3 distinct results in those caught within it. It turned them into harrow fiends, or harrowed, or it simply killed them.
So, what did your vampire friend discover? Reach witches summoning magical storms to create feral vampires? That's horrible, but to what purpose? Well, that's the next puzzle to solve. First, we need to get this information to the Queen. Here. This was for Brondel, but it's yours now. Queen Gerhild needs to hear what we discovered at Kilcreath Temple. Hopefully that will be enough for her to get us an audience with High King Svargrim. The Queen seemed reasonable. She'll believe us. As for Svargrim, who can tell? I haven't met the man, but everything I've heard describes him as prideful, arrogant, and hard-headed. Even with the Queen's help, there's no guarantee. I'd like to knock down the palace door, grab him by the throat, and shake him until he listens. That would probably start a war, though, and Yoren specifically asked me to avoid that. For now, let's bring our evidence to Queen Gerhild. If there's anything else we need to discuss, let's get it out of the way now, before we return to...
Help! Assassins in the palace! Help!
That's one of the Queen's attendants. Let's get inside.
Be strong, Svanna.
Mother! No! No!
Svanna, your father, the kingdom. Watch over.
Mother! No! You can't die! Mother!
Sire, the assassins might return. You must get to somewhere safe. Have Yoren's lackeys come to gloat?
We came here to warn you, Your Highness.
And yet my wife lies dead.
If you had listened to us...
Like she did. If I determine Yoren had a hand in this, there will be war! Someone take care of my wife!
Father, please. Gods, what a disaster. The Queen's been assassinated and Svargrim still refuses to listen to reason. We need to find a way to set things right. Good question. The guards should have been able to handle a run-of-the-mill assassin. This could be connected to the Ice Reach Coven. In fact, I'd wager my axe that it is. Look around. See if you can find any indication of how the assassin got in and out of the palace so easily. Maybe even turn up something that ties the murderer to the Coven. I'll make sure the princess is all right. Svanna's taking this pretty hard. I suppose most daughters feel close to their mothers. Not that I'd know, I never knew my mother. Sorry, don't mind me. Did you find anything that might lead us to the assassin? We've seen these medallions before. On the Reachman near Kilcreath. And I saw them on the witches in Ice Reach. The assassin definitely seems to be in league with the Coven. But can we get Svargrim to believe that and accept the danger he's in? Svargrim has every right to be angry. He watched his wife die right before his eyes. But he's the High King. He doesn't have the right to be stupid. Time to make Svargrim confront some hard truths. Come on, the Sword Thane led the king upstairs. We need to see the High King.
I should think not. The High King is in mourning. He's not to be disturbed.
The Queen's wasn't the only life lost today. Now get out of our way.
Go right in.
Your Highness, please. Your kingdom is in grave danger.
My queen's blood hasn't yet cooled, and already Yoren's lackeys hound me.
We have proof that the Coven threatening your kingdom is responsible for the Queen's death. Show him, partner.
Does Yoren think me so weak that he believes his half-giant can twist my arm and fill my head with lies? I am not so easily duped, outsider. Reach witches. They pose no threat. We've beaten back those wild dogs time and time again, while our brothers to the east bow down to a poetry-writing milk drinker. I will not be lectured on such matters by the likes of you. Tales told around campfires to scare the children. Storms happen here all the time, and none of them spawn monsters. The last spy who spoke of such things, well, he no longer speaks of such things. I am the Wolf of Solitude. I know my enemies. You dishonor my wife's name by letting it pass through your treacherous lips. Away with you! And pray I don't find evidence that ties you to the Queen's murder. That would not go so well for you.
We'll leave you to your grief, Your Highness.
You smell beard. What is that terrible smell?
Is it true? Mother told me you were working for her before she...
I'm sorry, Svanna. I would have saved her if I could.
My mother. She told me she gave the mighty Lyris Titanborn an important task. Tell me, what were you doing for my mother? Threat? What threat? And do you think this is why someone came into the palace and killed her? And did you tell my father all this? Is he rallying the soldiers? Alerting the other holds? My father sees Yoren's plots everywhere, even in his spicy venison stew. Well, I won't let my mother's death be for nothing. She trusted you, and so will I. My father be damned. Please, find whoever did this and stop them. I saw the assassin. He moved fast. Unbelievably fast. He leaped through the window after stabbing my mother. By that time, the guards had gathered, so I guess he decided to flee. Try to follow his trail. Someone outside must have seen something.
He was fast, that's for certain. Here and gone before the guards could even draw their swords. Other than that, I didn't get a good look. The inside of his hood was nothing but shadows. My father? Listen to me? When horkers fly, maybe. But probably not even then. He gave up on me a long time ago. I'm sorry. I'm no use to you. No use to anyone. I'm not my mother. Never will be. But I swear I'll do whatever I can to help you. You have my word.
No. My mother... The last time we spoke, I hurled a mug at her. But I came when she summoned me. Just in time to see her murdered. I need to pull myself together. She asked me to watch over my father. The kingdom. I can't let her down.
You hold me,